So we have a client here who has, looks like eastern yellow jackets.
This is a super sensitive eastern yellow jacket. Vesperilla maculifrons colony decided to build their nest by this window well. This particular colony was deep down inside of a hole to the right of where they're entering here, so I showed up with my vacuum and all my tools to start digging up and removing this nest. So I set my vacuum nozzle perpendicular to the entranceway and start pounding on the ground, pounding on the window well to stir them up so that way they come out in a fury and go right down the vacuum nozzle. But the ones coming back from foraging, they were seeing the vacuum, they were seeing me and the camera, and they didn't want to go right down the vacuum nozzle, so they set that alarm pheromone and they just instantly started swarming. So I knew I had to battle both challenges at the same time, getting the ones coming out of the nest, but also get the ones coming back from foraging. So I just start digging up where I think the nest is, and I found it actually 18 to 20 inches away from where the entranceway was. And I started pulling out handfuls. Well, I found out why they were so sensitive. This nest, as they were digging this cavity, the nest actually collapsed in on itself and fell sideways, and then they started building more comb underneath of that. This very unorganized structure to this nest made them very sensitive to anything being around that nest. Very, very interesting to see, but it was just general chaos inside of this cavity, and they are typically very organized, layer upon layer of comb. But this particular one, the comb was in different directions in some places, which was really wild. But the second I pulled out that last handful, I did not know that the nest went further. So I thought I was pretty much wrapping it up. But then when I put my hand in there and grabbed that last bit of comb, just this fury came out of that hole, which was super intense. Eastern yellow jackets are clingers, just like southern yellow jackets. So when they're latching on and biting you and stinging you over and over and over again, it becomes kind of intimidating. I stepped back for a second to let the vacuum collect a bunch more and let that swarm settle down a little bit. And then I got back into it and started removing the rest of the comb. So a lot of the common misconceptions I get in the comments are people saying like, oh, you're missing them, they're flying past the vacuum. Well, they're not leaving, they're staying in the general vicinity. This is home to them, this is all they know. So they just linger in the area until finally they all go down the entranceway and get vacuumed up. So I actually got stung on my ankle right there. Eastern yellow jacket don't hurt nearly as bad as some of the other species that I deal with. But this particular one, I don't know if she drove that stinger in a lot deeper or what happened, but man, she got me right there. She actually crawled down between my boot and my sock and got down against my ankle, so she stayed in there for the rest of the removal too. So I just let the vacuum just sit there and run for a little bit and just catch as many of the returning foragers and things. At this point, there's not any coming out of the hole, it's all ones coming back from foraging. So I filled in the hole the best I could and used a little bit extra topsoil, and just let the vacuum run for another 20 minutes or so and got the majority of them, and off to the next removal.
Alright, I got the hole filled back in. Now I'm just trying to get the last of the foragers coming back. Stung on the ankle. Eastern usually don't hurt, but she must have really injected.
But of course I always bring these nests home and I feed them to my animals, my 2 emus, chickens, and my rhea.
Yeah. You get me the bee. Good girl, Doris. What a good girl, Doris. She's a good girl.